Thank you so much for having me. It's a real privilege to be here tonight. In fact, I'm just glad that I'm anywhere, as a matter of fact. This has been a 5.5-year journey. And 2 years ago, I made a phone call to this wonderful lady, Evilise Page, and it not only changed my life, but it saved my life. My name is Jeff Charles. I am from Greenville, North Carolina. I am the voice of the Pirates at East Carolina University, and before I was at ECU as the play-by-play voice of the Pirates, I was at Virginia Tech as the voice of the Hokies. And I'm really feeling old because when I was the voice of the Hokies, Jimmy and Evilise were students at Virginia Tech back in the 80s. I'm a cancer survivor, both lung cancer and also colon cancer. I have survived cancer. I have thrived because of cancer. I have been in remission now for 2 years. My scans are clean, and my labs are great. Here is my story. I was on the air doing my morning radio show in Greenville, North Carolina, December 3rd, 2012, and I got this excruciating pain in my belly. And never had that kind of pain ever before. And I went home and I told my wife, Debbie, who's with me here tonight, I said, you know, something's really wrong here. And she gave me some Pepto-Bismol, and believe me, that didn't work. She says, we need to get you to the emergency room. And I said, you know, I think I'm pretty tough, but I cannot get off the couch. It felt like somebody had taken a sword and put it right through my gut, and I was nailed to the couch. She calls the ambulance. They come to the house, pick me up, take me to the hospital. The only thing I remember about that day is going through those big double doors. I'm kind of passing in and out of consciousness. I have a surgery right away. Next day, 24 hours later, the doctor comes in the room and he says, we operated on you and we have found something else. We have found a tumor in your colon. On a scale of 1 to 5, 5 being the worst, it is a 5. It needs to come out immediately. I had 2 surgeries in 24 hours. I was back recovering from that surgery, and as I'm sure a lot of you have heard this, when people go to the hospital, they get infections. And I got a deathly infection in the hospital following the second surgery. I laid there about a week, had the infection, and in fact, on the night of December 12th, 2012, through the middle of the night, they came out and they told my wife, Debbie, that I was not going to make it through the night. Somehow I pulled through. I was in intensive care in critical condition for 11 days, got out of the hospital, and as so often happens with modern Western conventional medicine, they push you right into chemotherapy. I went into chemotherapy 2 weeks after the surgeries. I did 6 months of chemotherapy. I had the reconnection surgery, went back, had a scan, and guess what? 20 months of remission. And I think that, you know, naively enough, I'm thinking that I have beaten cancer here. Everything is going great. I feel wonderful. Go in for a PET scan, had the PET scan, and doctor did not even call me 8 days until the PET scan was over, called me and said, guess what? We have found some tumors in your lungs. You have to get out here and see me right away. So I go out. I have 2 tumors in my right lung. I have a tumor in my left lung. He says they need to come out immediately. I've been to this oncologist now for 3 years. And I said to him, I said, you know, I'm a big boy here. I said, let's put the cards on the table. Where do you think I am moving forward in this journey? And with all the empathy and compassion of someone asking you, do you think it's going to rain today? He says to me, well, you're probably just going to continue to get more tumors. That was my light bulb moment. I said, bro, I'm out of here. I walked right out of that doctor's office from that oncologist, and I ain't been back yet. So what I did is I got on the internet. I went home right away. I knew absolutely nothing about a natural holistic approach to cancer. So I'm like the blind squirrel trying to find the nut. I go on the internet, and I just start hunting and pecking. And I start going from one thing to another, and I hear Evilise's story. And I said, I got to call this girl. I got to call her right now. And I got on the phone. I called her. She answered the phone. We had about a 10-minute conversation. A few minutes into that conversation, she said, you need to get out to Namaste Health Center in Durango, Colorado. I hung up the phone. I called the folks out there. We started the ball rolling. And about a month later, I was out there. This is after I'd had 2 surgeries. They had 2 tumors in my right lung they had to take out. I took a 2-week break. They had another tumor in my left lung that they had to take out 2 weeks after the first surgery. It was a much bigger procedure than what they thought because the tumor was in a location that was difficult to get. And so I had what's called a lower lobectomy, which means they take half of your left lung out. Come hell or high water, I was getting on that airplane and heading to Colorado. So I was not feeling very well after a major surgery. We got on the plane and we headed out to Durango, America. And we headed out there, and the first time I'd ever been there in my life, and what a gorgeous place it is, what a wonderful place. And we get out there, and all the folks out there who are in Durango at the clinic are all women. Women doctors, women nurses, women administrators. And I'm like, you know, I'm supposed to be out here for 3 weeks. Maybe this ain't so bad after all. Sorry, hon, she's here with me tonight. The most wonderful people I've ever been associated with for anything. They are just great, and I talk them up all the time, and we send people out there. I do have a unique situation in that I do have an opportunity as somebody who is on radio and television to get the word out. I have a unique platform, a unique vehicle to get the word out to people about different causes and different things that I support. And I can assure you that at the top of that list is Believe Big and the wonderful work they are doing here. Evilise Page is a gift from God. She really is. And I will be forever thankful to her for that phone conversation that we had. So I go through the treatment, and when you go out there, you go through the treatment kind of like checking out at the grocery store. You go through the treatment, and at the end of the day, at the end of the week on Friday, they say, well, here's how much your bill is. So I go up to pay my bill, and guess what? There's a grant there from Believe Big, which I had no idea was coming. And this is after one phone conversation with Evilise. And I'm thinking, my goodness, how great is this? How thankful am I for this? This really helps me out a lot financially. And so that got me off and running another 2 weeks. You know, we're out there. I start taking the mistletoe IV. They start you out on a low dose. They increase it every day by the end of the week. And I was very fortunate that my body did not have any adverse reaction to it. By the end of 3 weeks, they're blasting me full blast pretty much with this stuff. And I'm feeling so much better. And I'm back even working out. And I'll tell you what, it's tough out there because it's 6,200 feet in the elevation in the San Juan Mountains. And you just had half your left lung taken out. And you're trying to walk up and down those mountains getting around out there. But I was able to do that by the 3rd week I was there. And I came back home. This has been 2 years ago now. I came back home, and now I do the mistletoe injections 3 times a week. And it's been just an absolute godsend. I feel wonderful. I feel terrific. And it's been really a blessing to me to have cancer. I know that sounds really crazy, but it's made me a better husband. It's made me a better father. It's made me a better son, better friend, better coworker. And in a strange way, it gives you confidence because it's like, my goodness, I've been knocked down so much with this thing. I've been able to survive this and thrive from this. So it does give you confidence. I want to show you my ring as I close. I have this ring. You can't see it in the back of the room, even the front of the room. But this is a ring that is symbolic of my cancer journey, and my wife Debbie and I each wear these each and every day. This ring is from the Sleeping Beauty Mines in Arizona, and it is made by the Navajo Indians. And you can't see it, but there are spots on this ring, and they are called Navajo tears. Tonight, these are tears of joy for me. It's been quite a journey. I'll be 66 years old next month. I'm back bench pressing 300 pounds, ran 5 miles yesterday, and this is a guy they said wasn't going to make it. So I'm here to tell you, whatever you're dealing with, you can make it. There's no question about that. My goal is to someday be on that little Smucker's jar and have Al Roker, who probably won't be around at that time, but it'll be somebody. I want to be on that little Smucker's jar, and they're going to say, there's that old guy down there in Greenville, North Carolina. He's 100 years old tonight. And I'm going to say, all you folks, y'all come down to Greenville, North Carolina, celebrate my 100th birthday, and we're going to have a hell of a party. Thank you so much.